Hello everyone, my name is Zeynep Yavaş, and in my second round presentation, it's about fictional linguistic landscape. And firstly, I start with the Hunger Games. Uh, but first of all, I want to mention about something. My main aim is to make English learning more interesting by using familiar fictional films. I chose the Hunger Games and Twilight so students can focus on language, not the story. Another aim is to show how language is used in posters and visual messages in fictional worlds. Through these materials, students practice reading, speaking, writing, and vocabulary, and especially feelings and opinions. I also aim to develop students' creativity and critical thinking by changing the original endings. And let's skip the first movie. My first question to my students is, do you know the Hunger Games? Then the story happens in the future. The country is called Panem. Panem is controlled by the capital. Every year, teenagers are chosen. They are sent to a dangerous arena. They must fight to survive. The games are shown on television. Katniss Everdeen. Katniss is strong and brave. She knows how to use a bow. Her strategy is to survive alone. She hides and avoids fights. And Peeta Mellark. Peeta is smart and calm. He uses words, not weapons. He pretends to be weak. He makes aliens. And when we look at Katniss and Peeta act like a couple. This is a strategy for the audience. People start to support them. At the end, only one winner is allowed. They find poisonous berries and they decide to eat them together. But the capital stops them and the rules change. Two winners are allowed, and finally, Katniss and Peeta survive. And now it's question time. This is our real ending, but what if the capital did not stop them? What if they ate the berries? And let's look at a different poster. And our first activity, my students work individually by looking at the poster. Answer part one with short answers. Choose 3 or 5 feelings in part two. Explain their ideas in part three. Circle their opinion in part four. And if they have time, they can do extra part and they have 5 minutes. And let's look at our activity like this in part one, part two, part three, part four, and part five extra part. And our second activity about the Hunger Games. They work in groups of 3. Imagine this is the real ending, and they create a new slogan for the poster. Choose one color, choose one symbol. They have 5 minutes, then share their slogans with the class. And our second movie is Twilight. And my question for my students is, do you know Twilight? And it is fantasy romance films. The story happens in a small town. The town is called Forks. Bella Swan is the main character. She moves to Forks with her father. She feels lonely and different. Edward Cullen, he is mysterious. He is a vampire. He is cold and distant. And Jacob Black, he is warm and friendly. He is Bella's childhood friend, and he makes Bella feel safe. In our movie, Bella must choose between Edward and Jacob. Edward means danger and immortality, and Jacob means family and staying human. And in the real film, Bella chooses Edward. She accepts his world. Then she becomes a vampire. She leaves her human life behind. But today we change the story. What if Bella choose Jacob instead? Let's look at the different poster. And in activity one, I will tell my students to think as if they have been Bella. Tonight, Bella must choose. First, compare two leaves in part one. Use one word. Now write Bella's diary. Be honest. Finally, choose the main theme. Explain it shortly. And they have 10 minutes. And look at our worksheets in here. In part one, they use two words. They think about that and complete the chart with one word. And part two, they write five or seven sentences in Bella's diary. And last part, they find the correct theme for our new endings, Twilight. And second activity, they imagine Bella chooses Jacob in the first film. Rewrite the ending, write six or eight sentences. Our rules are to use present tense, Bella stays human, Edward leaves fork, and optional, there are some sentence starters. For example, at the end of the film, Bella decides to, Jacob feels, Edward understands that, and like that. And my presentation finish here. Thanks for listening and participating. See you next week.